It was pretty scary, to be honest. I didn't know what to expect being the first-time home buyer. It was actually easier than anything I could ever imagined.
Well, you know, when I first got into real estate, I'll be honest with you, I don't think that, I think I just did it by working hard, you know. I definitely don't think that anyone will argue that I'm not a hard worker. But I think there's a joy that comes from helping somebody, you know. I didn't know that I was gonna feel the way that I felt when I helped someone buy their dream home, or I helped someone sell a home that they've tried 3 different times. You know, to sell thinking that maybe it was impossible. And so I think a lot of my satisfaction over the years has really come from my clients.
I decided to get into real estate because I had a bad experience buying my first house. I did all the work. I looked online for a house. I called agents to go see if I could see the house because my agent wasn't doing a good job. And so I felt like it had to be better. It had to be better out there. And Mike Reese sold my first house, my agent, and the process he used just blew me away. And I knew, because he showed so much expertise that he was going to get the job done, that I wanted to do that and make people not feel the way I felt when I bought my first house.
So when Casey and I decided to buy a home, I had an acquaintance who was a traditional agent. We contacted him. After a couple days, hadn't heard anything back, so we decided to go another way. We contacted an expert advisor. Within a few hours, we had contact, and the next day we were looking at homes.
I never felt abandoned. Anytime I called, he answered my call, or he called back within 30 minutes. We kept in contact daily. Sometimes I probably annoyed him because I called him so much, because I really wanted to buy the perfect home, because this was the last home that I wanted. He was able to talk to me about what I was really looking for. We talked constantly. He sent me different things. He told me about the different areas, because there's so many small towns around here. I really didn't know the different areas.
We looked at probably 20, 30 homes. It seemed we were so picky. You know, the living room wasn't big enough. The backyard wasn't big enough. We didn't like that it was on a busy street, and the experience with our expert advisor just really was patient and thorough and continuing to be on the hunt for us. And finally we found the home. When we walked in, that was it.
In 16 years of selling real estate, you make a lot of mistakes and you learn a lot of things along the way. And you know, one of the things I think that I've learned is that when it comes to the process of selling a home, there's over 115 different variables involved in selling your home. And as great and as much intention as I may have to do a great job, that there's just no way that I could do it all by myself. And I tried to do that for a number of years. And even though I had great intention and I truly wanted to give the best for my clients, I wasn't able to do that. And that's what Mike and I have really tried to focus on with KRREA, is making sure that we have systems and processes no different than any other business that manage all the variables in the home selling process to maximize not only your experience and make sure that you're communicated to along the way, but make sure that we do everything we can to sell your home for the most amount of money. And that's just something that is impossible to do as an individual agent, and we know that because we tried to do it that way, like many other agents still do it today.
The problems working with a solo practitioner is that it's not fair to the consumer because of the experience that they deserve with so many different variables in the home buying, home selling process. It really takes away from being able to deliver on all of that.
You know, pricing a home is really the most important process that a real estate agent should have mastered. And the biggest problem that I see with what most real estate agents do, especially in a fast-paced market where homes are moving quickly, is that they look at historical data to determine how to position your home in the market today. So if you think about it logically, if you look at a home that may have sold 6 months ago or 3 months ago and the market's improving, how do you position your home in the market with today's competition, which there's very little competition? How do you position your home to attract the highest possible offer? And if you're only looking at historical data, which is traditionally what an agent will do, is they do a CMA. And if that's how they're looking at how to position your home in the market, you're leaving thousands to tens of thousands of dollars on the table. And what we've been able to do and innovate is really a system and process for how to position a home in the market to future pace where the market is when you hit the market, and be able to attract a much higher offer and sell at the top of the market, and even create a higher market for the homes that are in your neighborhood. And that's been able to put more money in our sellers' pockets and been able to help a lot of people to sell their home, not just at the time frame that they wanted to sell it in, but also put the most amount of money in their pocket along the way. And I think that's what most sellers really want.
We decided to sell our home that we were renting out, and so I got with my expert advisor. We sat down and reviewed the market, analyzed what homes were selling for, what was on the market currently, and what we could sell my home for. We did a pre-inspection on the home. We did a coming soon on the home. We actually did some, we fixed up a few of the things on the houses that my expert advisor helped find the right people to fix these at a reasonable rate, and then we pushed the market and got what I needed on the home.
You know, when you think about selling your home, you know, we look at it like this. You know, real estate, you know, your home is not just your home, it's also the largest investment that you probably have made. And you wouldn't want to utilize the equity that you have. You wouldn't want to leave money on the table. You wouldn't want to gain as much as you possibly could out of that investment. So we look at it from that approach: is how do we help you maximize the investment you've made in real estate to make sure that you walk away with the most amount of money. And in doing that, what we've determined and been able to do is there are some factors involved in the home selling process that prior to positioning a home in the market, prior to deciding to list the home in the MLS, that there's variables involved that we can control that may be able to attract you significantly more money based on the current market conditions and the condition of your home, and things that we may want to do, things that we may want to upgrade, and different areas that we can focus on to attract a much higher offer and ultimately get more equity for you as the homeowner. And that's how we look at real estate, is as an investment, and we want to help you make sure that you're making the most from your investment when you go to sell your home.
I believe that the happiest agents and the happiest customers come with, you know, going through those expectations and having a clear understanding and advising them on the front end, and that's always served me well.
Honestly, I'm more of an emotional buyer because my home is my castle, and I have to feel comfortable that I have all of the features that I wanted. And my expert advisor, like I said, I gave him a list of the features, and he was able to find some of the houses that he sent me to find the house that I wanted.
Our expert advisor didn't take us to a whole bunch of houses that maybe we liked but wouldn't necessarily want to buy. Every house he showed us was a house that we wanted to buy. Plus, he knew exactly the house we would buy, and we laughed about it afterwards because he said, "Told you so," when we picked it. So there was absolutely no wasted time. We went straight to the houses every single time, straight to the houses we would buy, and finally, after only, I think, 3, straight to the house we wanted.
Because we did sell our home in Palmetto, and we worked with realtors, not expert advisors. And it was very evident that what they were doing for us in the sale of our home in Manatee County was so far less, and these were personal friends, was so far less than what this expert advisor did for us in purchasing this home than what and I don't know whether the knowledge level was different.
I realized early on in my career that most agents were more concerned about making the sale rather than negotiating the best terms and price for the customer. It's interesting sometimes to think that a truck driver and a nail technician actually have more certification hours than your average real estate agent. That being said, that's why we put a lot of energy and effort and money into additional training. One that I've obtained is actually the Certified Negotiation Expert Certificate. What that has done is that has allowed me to represent our homeowners as well as our home buyers at a different level. It allows us to negotiate before the offer is even made in order to obtain the most equity and value and terms that our customers are looking for.
The traditional real estate agent just does not have the skill set or the knowledge to be able to deliver on the results that the consumer deserves. Whereas an expert advisor is committed to learning the skills needed to be able to not only give you the results that you deserve, but also the experience that you deserve to have throughout the home buying or home selling process with so many different variables that are going on.
My expert advisor training has basically been a master's degree for me, more so than what other agents would get, just like a bachelor's degree. You know, it's more education. And what that's helped me with my clients is I'm more knowledgeable in the market, I'm more knowledgeable in closing a house, I'm more knowledgeable in finding different avenues to make them more money on the sale of their house, as well as save them money on the purchase of their house.
We believe that the negotiation actually starts well before the offer is made. And most agents actually don't have any additional training or certifications that will help them demonstrate to the client on how they can help them sell their home for the most amount of money under their terms and the price that they want.
It's not just a certification. You know, right now, I don't remember the number, I'll just guess, but there's probably 40,000 licensed agents in the city in which Metroplex that I work in. And 85% of them have no, specific certification. So yeah, if you can work with a team, someone who specializes in the buying process, someone who specializes in the contract to close, someone who specializes, if you're a seller, in the marketing, with the buyer, if someone who really knows and understands all of the things that go into getting the perfect loan and really managing all that. Yeah, I mean, I think that if you have your choice to work with someone who has a certification versus doesn't, I mean, why wouldn't you?
We didn't speak with any other agents because after meeting with our expert advisor, we were very impressed and we didn't feel the need to look any further.
You know, for nearly 2 decades now in selling real estate, we've dealt with a lot of real estate agents. We've, on the other end of the transaction, and some of them are their very first transaction, and they do a couple of transactions, and they're out of the business. And I think the statistic is that 80% of people that get into real estate are out in the first year. So a lot of the transactions that happen are actually by someone who's only done 1 or maybe 2 transactions. And the thing that really frustrates us as real estate professionals is a lot of times that the other side of the transaction, that real estate agent can be the deal breaker for how they communicate something to a buyer if we're working with you as a seller, or how they present an offer to a seller if we're working with you as a buyer. And they can actually affect negatively the situation. And we want a higher standard for real estate agents, and that's the reason we founded NAEA. Expert advisors and having a certified home buying advisor or a certified home selling advisor in your corner when it comes time to buy or sell, this is what you can count on. You can count on the highest level of professionalism, the highest level of training, the highest level of understanding of how to get you what you want in the transaction, and the highest level of understanding of how to manage the processes that they are within their control and the ones that are even outside of their control with other agents to make sure that you maximize your home sale or maximize the home purchase and get exactly what you're looking for, and you don't end up in a situation that you weren't wanting to be in. So that's the reason that you want to hire an expert advisor. It's a different level of professionalism and understanding, and it's a higher standard for the real estate industry. And when you work with KRREA, you're going to get an expert advisor that's working for you.
I think it's a choice, At the end of the day, it's a choice. And so just like anything, you can have anything you want, but ultimately it's your choice. And I don't think that you choose your agent based upon, the car they drive, if they live in your neighborhood. I think maybe it sounds bad, but I always say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. At the end of the day, promises don't sell homes. Process does. And we have a proven process. So all you have to do is call us, and then you can start packing.